Everyone, welcome to this video. This is lecture number 2. In first lecture we actually discuss about the Dirac delta function in one dimension, two dimension as well as three dimension, and some important property for the semester 2. And in this video want to discuss about some problem regarding electricity, magnetism, mainly the problem taken from the book Electricity and Magnetism by Vasudev Ghosh. This is the chapter 1. In this video we want to discuss about the 10 question which was in the exercise 1 of the electricity magnetism written by Vasudev Ghosh. Okay, so let's start with the question. First question says that compare the electrostatics and gravitational force acting between the nucleus and the electron rotating in the first Bohr orbit of a hydrogen atom. That means there is a hydrogen atom. So in this hydrogen atom there is only one proton in nucleus and the electron revolving around this proton. Then you need to find out the electrostatic force and the gravitational force. So the electrostatic force will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square. The charge of proton is equal with the charge of electron with the equal magnitude. So you can retain as the magnitude q1 q2 both are the e electronic charge, and the gravitational force is g mm by r square, mass of the proton, mass of the electron. So if we ratio then them to these two force, then what will happen? R square will be cancelled out, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught e square by g m. Yes, if you put this value, you will be this value, that is 10 to the power of the order 10 to the power 39. Go to the next question. What said a movable particle of mass m charge plus q placed midway between two fixed positive charge plus capital Q. So there is two positive charge and in the middle there is small q. Now if you slightly change fixed and then release, then the q charge, small q charge is released at a distance x, tends to uh, at a position x and then release. What happen? They will be oscillate, right? So at this point the resultant force will be the force due to this charge is like that, and force due to this charge will be like that. And if you calculate, you can easily find out this expression like that. And here you can assume, because the d is very much greater than 2x, this d is very much greater than 2x, because this x is very small, right? So if you taken this assumption, you can write this x square minus d square as the d square. So this can be written as d to the power 4. And finally you can say this is the equation of a simple harmonic motion. So this will be must be omega square, that is angular frequency square. Then you can find out the time period t equal to 2 pi by omega. This is the answer, or this is the time period, right? Go to the next question. Go to the next question, right? Show that the electric field at the center of curvature of uniformly charged semicircular arc is like that. Okay, so the electric field due to this semicircular arc will be like that. Now if you take the small portion, that is the r d theta, this is theta and this angle is d theta, so this will be r d theta. For this, the electric field along this, and if you component this electric field, so along this direction the cos theta and this is the sin theta. In the similar fashion, if you take in that region, you will be get the similar two component, that is d cos theta and d sin theta. So you can see the d cos theta are cancel out for this symmetry, only d sin theta will be present. So if you integrate d sin theta and d is the electric field due to this small portion, that is lambda d theta by 4 pi epsilon r square and this sin theta. So if you separate out and if you integrate, you will be get this result. Okay, go to the next one. A static charge distribution produce an electric field. This is the electric field produced by the static charge distribution, where b is the constant, r is the unit vector along this. Using Gauss law, find the total charge of this distribution. So the differential equation of the Gauss theorem, you know this. So rho can be written as epsilon naught this. So if you divergence of this function, you can write here, and If you separate out these two portion, you will be get these two, and this derivative already or differential we already find out, that is 4 pi delta r. In the last lecture we will discuss about the delta function very clearly. So we put this value is this. So finally we will get the volume charge density like that, and the total volume total charge is nothing but the integration of this rho dv. So if you put this value of rho, and finally if you using the property of the drag delta function and the integration, you will be get total charge will be 0. Go to the next one. Consider a uniformly charged pair of radius a and charge density rho, so that the electric potential at interior point at any point will be like that. For that we actually wants to using Gauss theorem, that's why we find out electric field at the inside point. If you use the Gauss theorem at the inside point, that is E into 4 pi r square at the interior point, and the corresponding charge will be rho into 4 third pi r cube, and you will be get the electric field at the interior point, inner side, right. And the for the outer side, this will be 4 pi r square, and this is the going to 4 third aq, because the charge only distributed up to a, right. So that's why the electric field at the outer side will be like that. Now if you wants to find out the potential, just integrate this electric field, you will be get this expression, and for outside this expression. To find this constant, you will be use the boundary condition that r tends to infinity, v will be 0, the so c2 will be 0, so output potential will be like that, and the corresponding input potential at the surface, this input potential and output potential must be same. So if you put this input potential and output potential at this r equals to a, you will be get find the value of c1, and if you put this value c1 in this v1, you will be get this expression which we want to prove. Clear? For any query you must comment in the comment box. Go to the next one. A charge q is distributed uniformly over a spherical volume. And in a spherical volume, this charge distributed so that the electric field at any inside point is directly proportional to the distance of this sphere. So the total charge will be this rho into 4 third pi aq, and using the Gauss theorem, you will be get the inside electric field into 4 pi r square, the surface area, and the rho into charge equals to rho into volume. So you will be get E is proportional to R. You need to prove that. Go to the next one. The electric field along the length of the discharge tube is given by this. This is the electric field where K is the constant. Using the Poisson equation, find the charge density. The Poisson equation is grad square phi equal to minus rho by epsilon naught. So this can be written as minus grad of phi. So divergence E equals to rho by epsilon naught. This is another form of Poisson's equation. So rho equals to epsilon naught divergence of E. So divergence of E is the electric field. If you put this value, you will be get this answer. Go to the next one. Consider the line charge distribution and find out the total charge. So total charge is lambda dz. So the charge distribution is minus infinity to plus infinity, and lambda equals to lambda 0 by 1 pi z square. So if you integrate and put it the value, you will be get this answer. Go to the next one. Consider a rod L with the charge Q distributed uniformly over it. So the total charge is Q distributed uniformly. So charge per unit length will be Q by L, right? And Q0 is placed on the axis of the rod at the distance d from the nearest. So at the nearest, the distance, find out the force on Q0 due to this. So if you consider the dx portion at a distance x, then for this portion the force will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught for this charge for this lambda into dx, and another charge is q0, and total distance is x plus d third square. Hence the total force will be integrating above these two force, you will be get this at the constant, and the integration of this minus 1 by x plus d. So x will be minimum 0, maximum is L. So if you put this value, you will be get this answer. Go to the next one. Consider a cylindrical surface given by this is placed in the electric field. Calculate the total flux across the cylinder. There is two method. One is direct method, just finding the flux, that is integration e dot ds, and another method will be, sorry, another method will be just closed surface integral. So if you use the Gauss divergence theorem, so divergence, if you find out the divergence E and then integrating, you will be get the answer, right? So this is the easiest process. I think this is easiest process you can find out. Or you can, if you wants to find out the individual flux through the surface, for curved surface, the n you can find out n cap, and after that if you just surface integral, you well, there you can find out very well the surface integration, because of the in the first semester you know the solution of the Spiegel, in which the method you can use this electric field, you will be get this expression. And for the plane surface, there is two plane surface, z equals to 0 and z equals to 1, for z equals to 0 and for z equals to 1, and finally you will be get 3 pi square is 0. But I recommend you to use this formulation, because you can save your time easily, and there is no error at all, right? So that's it. For in the next video want to discuss about another next question of this book. Okay, for any query you must comment in the comment box. This is all about me, and this is my contact details, and this is my YouTube channel details. Go to this channel, you will be get the others video which can be help for you. Okay, so take care, we will meet in the next video as soon as possible. Thank you.